All right, thank you for being here. We have another episode of Another Day in Paradise. So I was trying to shoot for Another Day in Hell, but apparently the idea was not that great. But anyway, so this is obviously not how we dress every day. This is a Halloween special. And so I want to start by introducing my guests today. So I'm going to start with Berit. Berit, you are German. And you've been living here in Morocco for quite some time now?
Yes.
How many years? Yes. All right. This is going really, really good.
Question, answer.
Question, answer. You know German. Deutsche Qualität. So how long have you been here?
It's close to 4 years.
4 years.
Five, nearly 5.
All right. Well, pretty cool. Mm-hmm. And Lisa is also with us. So Lisa, you have been here almost the same time, right? Like almost the same?
A bit over 3 years.
A little bit over 3 years.
And I'm also German.
And you are
Don't
also
forget to
German.
mention
And
that.
you are also German. And not you. I don't talk to green people. So I have Reda also with me, who has been in a few of my podcasts too, and we've had a blast. So when I told him,
I'm not from Germany.
He's not from Germany. Reda is from.
Outer space.
Actually, Reda was born in Switzerland, and he lived in a few countries.
It's the same.
Yeah. So if you want to check out a podcast that we did,
German city actually. So
say that again.
I lived in a German city.
Really?
Bern.
Which one?
Bern.
Bern.
Capital of
Oh,
Switzerland.
Bern. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. How was it? How long did you live there?
Almost 4 years.
Fantastic.
So, but their German is different, I guess.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
In what way? Like, is it harder? Is it easier? Or is it mixed with another language?
I don't know.
Depends who you ask, I guess. I mean,
Yeah.
for us it's harder, definitely.
Really?
Yeah, Switzerland, to understand them.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but they understand us. Like, that's the main thing about it.
Really?
Yeah.
I think
But-
it must be like French Canadian and French from France.
But the French Canadian, we do understand perfectly what they say.
When they want to talk real French
Canadian, yeah.
you don't understand.
That's true. You know, it's the same thing. I was talking to a friend today, and the same thing with English. Like the Irish and Scottish and American English, and even in the United States, the Texas accent is very, very thick. But yeah. So today we would like to talk about the theme of Halloween. So obviously, something that surprised me really when I went to buy all these masks, which this one I didn't end up wearing it because it's so hot inside. And also it's very hard to speak and be understood. So we just put it over a lamp, and he is keeping an eye on you guys. So it's actually pretty interesting. Do you guys celebrate Halloween in Germany or not really?
Not really, but I think it's increasing maybe. Like when I was a kid, the kids in my neighborhood, they did it. My parent like this, going from house to house, trick or treat. My parents always told me that is begging. I'm not allowed to do it. But I think kids nowadays do it more, maybe even.
Yeah, I think me when growing up, I didn't even know Halloween because we have different traditions in Germany that are about the same time.
Okay.
It's similar also. You go from house to house and you sing, and these are more based on religious holidays.
Okay.
But I think even Halloween comes originally from Ireland, if I'm not mistaken. It has this religious side to it. But I remember once, the first time, I think I was 13, and we were asked to dress up at a friend's place. And this was at the age where dressing up was no longer really cool because you're now a teenager.
Okay.
I remember that. And that was the only time I've been to a Halloween party.
Okay. Well, that's interesting.
Right.
And how about, because you lived in a few countries. I don't know if you have ever celebrated Halloween in South Africa, for example.
Not really, but it was for other reasons. I think it existed, but security reasons and stuff. You weren't like going from house to
You
house
don't
and
just go
stuff.
trick or treating in
Yeah,
South Africa, I guess.
There's
But do you
only
dress
trick
up? Do
or
people
trick.
dress up like kids or teenagers or adults or not really?
Yeah, we had some stuff in school sometimes, but we had like the Mardi Gras.
Okay.
More
The French
towards
version.
there. But I think now it's becoming kind of like a trend that came from the US and it's going. I see a lot of kids do it here now.
I see.
So I'm guessing, yeah, it's spreading quite fast.
And you know, like in the States, people celebrate it like a lot. Like the kids, they go trick or treating. The teenagers, they also do it, and you know, girls, this is their opportunity to dress really.
Provocative.
Thank you, provocative. Very. I was gonna say slutty, but provocative is good too. And
Yeah.
I'd love to see guys dressing up provocatively.
Slutty?
Yeah,
Well,
why not?
yeah, I mean, sure. I mean, some do. Some really do.
Yeah, there was like a couple of years where the Borat.
Yeah, the Borat costume was very popular.
Was
Yeah,
very
that was.
Admitted you wore it.
I don't know if that's provocative or
Yeah.
something else, but yeah.
And you know, like people dress outside, like we go to bars, and it's not something that you just do like a private party and you dress up and you stay. Are you having trouble with your mask already?
Man, it's
Yeah.
hot.
You should have gone for face paint.
I told you, face paint.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to put this on here. All right, this is a lot better. Yeah, so yeah, in the States it's obviously very, very popular, and believe it or not, like a week before Halloween, the costumes are so expensive.
Yeah.
Like very, very, very expensive. And then also there is also this tradition to have like a lot of candy. Like even in houses, like they sell like small candies, like small mini packs, and you know, things like this. They would sell it like in small packs, and all the houses would have a lot of that. And then the next day, right after Halloween, there would be a sale, and everybody would go and buy a lot of Reese's and stuff like that. So, all right, let's dig in the subject of superstition, and who here is a little bit superstitious. Wait, the camera. There's something wrong with the camera. Can you
What?
go check it, please?
Sure.
Because I'm stuck here.
Maybe it's the battery.
I'm not sure. It shouldn't be.
What's wrong with it?
Well, just check it out and see, because it made a noise.
beep, beep.
Well, it's still recording, I guess, and the battery is good, I guess.
Okay.
No,
Hi.
I think all is good.
Yeah. All right. Well,
It's a noise it does when everything's good.
it is. It's just here to tell us that everything is good. See, the first spooky thing
Just
that
my
happened on
family.
Halloween. Your family sends you messages.
I see us back here tomorrow.
So who here is a little bit superstitious?
I think you are.
I am. I
Not
don't
that
know.
much.
Like, are you? I don't know. Like sometimes they say, oh, if you see a black cat or if you see stuff like that.
I guess it depends on the moment, you know.
Yeah.
Like they say, you become religious when you're in a plane.
Yeah. Yeah. And you become. Yeah. And you
If
become.
you really did all your luck, you'll see like the black cat. You'll be like, maybe I should,
yeah.
you know. But no, I'm not particularly superstitious
Yeah.
personally.
Yeah. In Morocco, there are a lot of superstitions. A lot of
Yeah.
superstitions. Like the one that's very common. I don't know if you guys heard about it. It's hot water in sink. You don't put hot water in the sink. Like for example, if you cook pasta, you don't throw the hot water in the sink.
Really? I never heard of that.
Really?
Why?
And why?
Well, why? Well, there's no there's no logical explanation because it's a superstition. But the explanation is to say that the ghosts, the spirits, will come out of the sink hole and
So how do you do when you
eat
shower?
pasta with you or something.
You don't shower?
Well,
You shower with them.
no, but I guess you don't shower with water that's that hot that would cook pasta. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe yeah, but yeah, this is one of the superstition, and it's pretty interesting because today I was talking to a friend who was telling me that he's from Senegal, and I said, oh, are you superstitious, etc., etc., and he said, oh, in my country, like, we don't even call it superstitious. It's yeah, you
part
know,
of the
it's part of the
culture,
culture, and it is a little bit part of the culture
Yeah.
here in Morocco too, right?
Here
Like
too,
we
of
go
course.
see, and how about in Germany? Do you have like this kind of people who like fortune tellers and things like that, or not really? No.
Good question. I wouldn't consider myself superstitious, but I think there are many subtle way, and you see them. For example, when I was at school, I was taking acting classes, and I think actors for me are really superstitious in a way. For example, a certain way of saying good luck, or
Yeah.
a certain way of like saying in German was this toi toi toi, and you did it like over the shoulder of the other one, or that the last practice before the actual play in front of the public had to be really bad.
Oh,
In
okay.
order
Yeah,
for the
yeah.
actual day.
Oh,
that
to
it will-
conjure
yes,
okay,
yes.
okay.
So you
Interesting.
had to ensure somehow that the last
Yeah.
practice wasn't going well. Yeah, that's I remember, but besides, not so much. I'm not sure what you think.
Interesting.
Well, superstitions, yes, and I think it's exactly as you say. Everyone is always like, "No, I'm not superstitious. This is silly. Like, why would I?" But then you say something with which you would jinx a good thing, and then you're like,
Yeah.
"Aha, knock on wood," and then we all knock on wood.
True.
Because
Yeah.
if you don't, you kind of
Yeah, you're pushing your luck a
just
little
midair
bit.
and you're like, "Oh, yeah."
You don't really believe it. You're like, yeah, it's not gonna kill me to do it. Let me just
That-
do it just in
that's it.
case. Just in
Yeah.
case. Yeah.
Better
I
safe
think-
than sorry.
Yeah, better safe than sorry,
Yeah.
for sure. And any of you here had any crazy experience or something that you cannot really explain, or maybe it happened to, it's interesting because every time I ask that, people say, "Oh yeah, my uncle told me that somebody," but it's never them. I never meet
Yeah.
that person. I never meet
Well,
that
it's
the
your lucky
exact
day
person.
because I have one.
Oh, here we go. All right, buckle up. Let's see.
Are you ready?
Let's hear it. I'm ready. I was
So
born
I was
ready.
on Mars, and no, I'm just joking. Well, actually, it was like maybe 6-7 years ago.
Okay.
I had to travel overnight, like friends who were going to Spain. They
So
told
where
me-
were you? You
I
were
was
in Morocco?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, during the summer, and they told me come with us to Spain and stuff. I was like, okay. Went home, looked for my passport, couldn't find it. And it was a moment where we were kind of moving, so we had part of our furnitures in different, like, at my grandparents, they have like a small backyard shed where we put a
stored
bunch,
stuff, yeah.
a bunch of stuff. And there's this woman that my parents know through like people that were like having a get together.
Mm-hmm.
And I called my mom to ask her where is my passport, like because I wanted to go the next day. It was maybe 9 p.m. And the woman that never actually saw me or met me or everything just told my mom where it was exactly. Like she told her like it's in some kind of shed. Like there's a lot of.
So she had
stuff.
no idea about
No
the shed.
idea
She'd never
about
been to the
anything.
shed.
Yeah, and
Interesting.
I actually went there and I found it there. Like
So
in
you
a-
believed her, in a way.
Well, it made sense when she said it. Like it was a possibility. Like if she told me like go in the mountain,
Yeah,
in
of
the
course,
city,
of
you'll
course.
find it under a rock. I would probably not go, but it was a possibility. So I said like I had nothing to lose, and it paid off. But it was kind of a
It is creepy,
weird
for sure.
coincidence.
Creepy.
kind of,
So
yeah.
how do you explain this? Do you rationalize, or do you say, yeah, she probably had some kind of supernatural power?
Well, I don't believe in superpowers, but I don't know. In my life experience, I feel that some people have, not specifically in this situation, but some people are more sensitive to certain details than others, and maybe you can explain it in a way like that. I don't know.
Interesting. Interesting.
But you didn't ask how she knows.
No,
That's a
no.
good
But
question.
she's known to have like because she kind of blacks out of the conversation and just says something in the air and continues her conversation.
So she's like talking, and then she's like possessed it for a few seconds, and then she
Hey,
says,
yeah,
"Oh, go
like,
look for
not,
your."
it's not the exorcist.
I
but,
really
yeah,
cannot
it's,
find my keys.
Yeah, let me connect really quick. Yeah, the connection here is not that good. 4G is
Yeah.
that.
Please give me her contact.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right, you're looking for your passport.
All the time.
She's stuck in Morocco for 4 years. Where's my passport?
Well, we're probably gonna put her through right now. Hello, Miss.
Yeah.
Like there are
Interesting.
my passport, my keys, my mobile phone, my
I actually, same story almost happened to my dad. One day, I was still very, very young. I was maybe 12 or 13, and we traveled, and my mom accidentally took the car keys with us, and he had an emergency. My dad is a doctor, and he had an emergency, and on Sunday, which doesn't really happen that often, and he said, "Oh, I need to go." He was looking for the key, and he called us. We were at my aunt who was in Casablanca, and my dad was in Meknes, so like 3 hour, 2 hours and a half drive. And she said, "Oh, let me look. They're probably over there. Just look," to keep the pressure off of her. And then she looked in her bag and she said, "Oh shit, I have them here." And he's like, "Oh my God, how am I gonna do? How am I gonna do?" This woman is like, "Let me just run and try to grab a taxi or whatever." And he turned around and he saw a spare key that we never knew we had. It just appeared like on the table, in the middle of the table. And he just took the key, and I came back and he told us this story. And I said, "So how do you explain this?" Because I'm very curious how people explain these things. Do they try to rationalize and say, "Well, it was probably there, we'd never paid attention"? Or do you believe in like supernatural, like God sent you the key, go save the woman, go, Mr. Sifiani? And he said, "Yeah, well, I didn't really care to worry about this or to wonder about this. I just grabbed the key and I went and I delivered that baby." But yeah, it's we all have some crazy stories, and it's hard to explain. But deep inside, I think I refuse to fall for this, and I always think there is a rational explanation for it. And if you dig really deep, I'm sure you can always find a rational. I think so. I think so. So how about you girls? Like, did you have any, or did you hear about any supernatural or something that you just could not explain?
I thought about it, and I think just the fact that I had to think about it also shows that I don't really believe in anything supernatural, because otherwise I think I'd have them. Or I'd say like, okay, this I couldn't explain. But for me, there are a lot of moments, and I can't explain them in the instant, I guess. Why there is maybe a certain phenomenon, or why there is certain light in the sky, why I see a face in the fire. I don't know.
Probably him just wandering around,
looking for a parking spot.
Yeah, and I don't know. Maybe just because I can't explain that.
Yeah.
Maybe someone else can, or maybe someone else one day might explain myself. Just because doesn't mean it has to be supernatural, because my knowledge is limited. I don't know. Yeah. But I have friends that have told me in particular about seeing ghosts, or in particular in spaces they were, and then other people confirmed that. Like I had a friend and he traveled in Spain, and he said like, and then I woke up at night and there was a lot of noise outside and it was windy and like the windows making noises, and I looked outside the window and I saw like a silhouette. And then I told that the next morning to the owner of the place, and they said, it's the old owner. It's like his noisy soul, which is still here. And I was like, okay, no, I don't believe it. Yeah. But in a way, when you're not there, I don't know. Yeah. I'm not the one to...
You know what's funny? A lot of people say they don't believe, but if you tell them like, all right, so go to that house and stay
sleep
there alone. I mean, they'll be like, but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's still scary. Some people don't believe, but it's still a little bit scary.
Believe at the end of the day.
Yeah, I think they just don't want to take the chance.
They believe in ghosts. Maybe they just believe in everyone else. I don't know.
They just don't want to be jumped. And
that's I guess a lot of things that you don't understand. At the end of the day, like you can give it the definition you want because you don't understand it. Like phones, like speaking from one place to another was you say this like 600 years ago, you'll be a witch or or whatever.
So of course.
Maybe some people are advanced. Maybe we are here.
We are here already. Dude, we just want to go to Mars. I don't know if you heard about Elon Musk. He wants to take us to Mars.
He's looking to buy a house next to my parents.
Next to your parents in Mars. I think, every time somebody tells me, let me tell you another anecdote, which is actually pretty funny. It happened to me in high school. And I was with a friend. See how the aliens, they drink? It's like, it makes me sad. You can't even drink off your face. Anyway, so... A friend told me, I was very skeptical, and I was probably young and stupid, and still am stupid, not young. But he said, "Okay, I know this guy. You cannot not believe him." And I told him what I told you in the beginning. It's always somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody who heard about somebody. Show me this somebody. I want to meet that directly. That somebody who can really show me something. And he said, "Okay, I'll show you somebody. I know a guy, and I want you to meet him." And I'm not gonna lie, I really didn't believe him. And like 90% of me was like, okay, let me check this out. I was sure that it was like a scam, but maybe not 90, but like 99% of me was sure it was a scam, and 1% was like, yeah, what if it's true and he's gonna drive me crazy? I'm gonna look stupid. Like I went looking for this guy to whatever, throw me like some kind of spell, and he's gonna drive me crazy. So I said, okay, I want to meet him. And apparently I did 6,000 feet, 6,000 steps. But hey,
Impressive.
you know.
Impressive.
So I met him. We went to a cafe, and there was my friend and another guy. They were both a little bit older, and I was like 15, and they were like maybe 18. But anyways, and a girl came with me, and she said, oh, she heard about this because she knows him too. And she said, oh, she knows the friend who was going to introduce me to the whatever guy. And she said, yeah, I want him. Can he talk to my dead grandmother? Can I come with you, and maybe he can talk to my dead grandmother? And already got really creepy even for a 15-year-old. It got a little bit too much. But anyways, so we went to a cafe in the middle of the day, and we were waiting for him. And the cafe was kind of crowded. And we waited. And while we were waiting, he told me that here is the trick that he did to them. You would hold your hand closed, with the fist closed, and he would like read some kind of, and it's always like connected with religion, because that's how they get access to you. It's never like a strange language. Like it's always like that's how they approach you, with religion. So you get reinsured, and then they say, oh, well, this is actually part of the religion, and they go way off. But anyways, so he said, okay, so you hold your hand very tight, closed, and he would like say some kind of gibberish, and then you would open your hand, and you will find a pearl. If the pearl is white, that means you have a good soul, and you are wonderful, and you will live forever. And if you have a black one, if you find a black one, that means that he needs to help you, and you are in trouble. Somebody put a spell on you, etc. So of course, he would try to slip you like a black pill, because otherwise you don't need him, he doesn't need you. Like, but it would still be pretty impressive. So I did this, and he came. And I said, I told my friend, did you try it? Or did you hear about somebody who tried it? I said, yeah, I did it personally. I said, you were closing your fist. When you opened it, you found a pearl. Yeah, I did. And already, I don't know, I'm like, come on, man, just get real. Anyways, so the guy came. And when he came, just like any good horror movie, it's never like, they try to create an ambiance. They try to create... he's not gonna come like a young guy with no sunglasses, no nothing. He would just come smiling in the middle of the day. Like he would try to give himself a little bit like of a mysterious look. So he came with like a djellaba, which is like a hoodie thing, traditional Moroccan thing. So it's a big tunique with like for people who actually.
I like how you explain djellaba.
You know, I started and I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? But anyways, so a djellaba is like a very fashionable thing that you wear, you know, in Morocco, very, very popular for Arabs. Anyways, so he put that little thing and he put the hood on, which people who wear djellaba never do. And he because it's like oversized, it was way over his face and he could barely see. And he came, and when he came, already with that strange look, everybody in the cafe was like looking at him like, ooh, he really like was a head turner. And he came and he sat down, and I was young and stupid, but my friend said, listen, don't provoke him, don't make fun of him, be respectful, etc., because he knew I didn't really believe in this at all. And by the way, 2 days before, I told my uncle, and who's a little bit religious, and I said, hey, I'm gonna meet this guy, because I was kind of like telling somebody in case something happened to me in a way, in a way, like in my subconscious, maybe that was that. And he said, "Oh, cool. I love those guys, those scammers. I love them. Bring him to my office. We'll have fun with him." And I said, "No. I mean, I don't want to provoke him and say this is very disrespectful, etc." So the guy comes, and he comes with he tries to create an aura, as I said, and he sits down and he says hi to everybody in a very weird way. He doesn't shake hands, and in Morocco we all shake hands, and he doesn't shake hands, and he sits down, and he turns to me and he said, and he keeps quiet. He said, you are Jawad." I'm like,
Whoa.
dude, take my money. Yeah, I am Jawad. I mean, what do you think? You heard about me. Don't try to like, oh, this is like a revelation he had. And he sat down and he said, yeah, and my friend were like, hi, like big fans, like, hi. So tell Jawad how you went one day and this house had like a spell and it was haunted, and how you saved the house. And he said, oh yeah, the house. As soon as I got into the neighborhood, I was like, yeah, this is the house, right? Oh yeah, I saw a lot of things flying there, a lot of angels and demons and. I'm like, all right, well, I mean, you got 2 fans, but this is not gonna convince me. Show me what you got, really, right now. And I said, he said, okay, and he said, would you mind, please, doing that thing with the pearl with Jawad? Do you think you have the karma in the right place? Do you think the stars are aligned? And I'm like, dude, like, just get fucking... Okay, let's do it. Honestly, I was annoyed with them because they were like, oh my God, do you think Your Highness can like please come down to earth with us and like share a little bit of your skill? I'm like, dude, like I know you're a scammer. Like just relax. And he did it. He did the I think, and this is very surprising. He did the thing with the hand, and he started saying, okay, repeat this, repeat that, and everybody was like quiet, and he was a little bit loud. So he's not afraid of being like noticed. And in the cafe, people were like kind of like turning and saying, what the fuck is going on that table? But anyways, so, and he said, and the thing is, I tried to close my fist really, really tight so he doesn't try to slip something in. And he tried, and then he said, in the midway, he said, no, I can't. And the people were like, what's wrong? Are you okay? He said, you're not good. No. You have it very bad. I can't. I'm sorry, guys. I have to go. I told him, man. I started laughing. I said, dude, you gotta cut this out. Like, you take advantage of people, ignorance. You take people. I'm sure you take money. He said, no. I never ask them. I never take money. I said, yeah, but if I give you a gift, you will take it. So, in people's mind, even if they don't pay you, you don't have like you don't have a menu like, okay, if I do this, it's $15 plus tips. It's like, but if if people are satisfied, if you tell them something that they like, they will generally give you gifts. So this is in their subconscious. Oh well, no, come on, this is not the way I do things, and you should ask them, etc. I said, so what's wrong with me? He said, I don't know. I said, come on, man. And I told to that guy, I said, where's your pearl? Like, he couldn't squeeze it in, or what happened? Like, he needs Viagra. Like, what does he need? Like, he couldn't get it up. Like, come on, like, this is bullshit. And the funny thing is that my friend who was with me said, but, okay, he missed this trick, but can you talk to my grandmother? I'm like, he didn't miss a trick. It's like he doesn't have any skill. Like, this is all bullshit. Yeah. And my friends were like, no, we're going to talk. And he was upset and he was leaving. And my friends were like, no, man, he's going to put a spell on you. I said, man, he couldn't even squeeze like if he was going to put a spell on us, like he needs to pay for his juice. I'm not paying for this shit. But anyways, so yeah, I think people use a lot of aura, and they tell you what you want to hear, and they try to make themselves like very mysterious, etc. So like when you go see a fortune teller, she's never like out there in the open in a picnic in a nice yard, etc. She would be like in a very low light, very dim, very. So I to be honest, I really don't believe in any of this. Of course, I'm scared like everybody. Like I would see somebody wearing this mask coming running towards me, I would like get ready to rumble. I would not like be like, oh no, he's he's just a little weird. I mean, his hair is a little funny, but this is his style. But I wouldn't be like freaking out with like spirits. And I don't know if you guys, when you were young, you know, you playing this table thing where you spirits,
in the middle.
esprit et tu là,
Yes.
esprit et tu.
Yeah.
There was always somebody who's pushing that thing, and sometimes it was me. So like, guys.
I remember, but I think like today or maybe for a couple of years already, it became a real business.
Yeah.
If you think about it, also like people having certain stones somewhere. One is for love, one is for luck, and you have to pay a lot of money for them.
true.
And like in particular, tricking old people and calling
sure.
them and selling them stuff, or even motivational seminars like
I
speakers.
think so. I
and
think they're almost the same thing. I
I
agree.
also don't believe in motivation. That's not true.
I don't need anymore. No, but yeah, in a way, when they use that to make money, like that's where I question things. It's like if you have this gift, then make it available for free.
Yeah.
Like it's nothing that is limited.
Yeah. I mean, definitely. You know, let me tell you about this guy. His name is James Randi. I don't know if you heard about him. He died maybe a year ago. He's very old. He used to be a very, very famous magician, like Ludini, etc. And his talent was like he was an escape artist. That's his favorite skill.
Those chains and stuff.
Yeah, like you chain him up and you put him in a swimming pool, and then he will be behind you saying, "Oh, well, how is this guy doing
just
that?"
found the
And
key
he's like,
in my
exactly. And he has like some crazy good skills and very, very funny guy. So he died very old, and towards the end of his career, like or half of his life, the other half of his life was dedicated to finding out those scammers and revealing them for who they are. And you know, there are a lot of people who pretend to speak to dead people, for example. And in the United States, they go to like very famous shows like Oprah, etc., etc., and they make a lot of money. And sometimes, and here is what he does. So every time somebody tells me, I have a cousin who has an uncle who does this. Listen, I'm not bullshitting you. I'm like, okay, let's make some money. Because James Randi had a foundation who has, how do you say this? He offers $1 million to anybody who can demonstrate he has a supernatural power. So $1 million. And then my friend said, yeah, but it's in the United States. It's not like it's in Morocco. He would never accept Moroccan. I said, no. There was an Algerian who tried. And so, of course, he has statisticians, and he's a magician. So he knows all the skills, all the things. And there is a famous guy who bent like a spoon. There is also somebody who can read cards. And like you just give him a new deck and you shuffle it, and then he tells you this one is ace of spade, this one is this one is that. And actually there is always a trick. And
it's always like the same, like $1 million you demonstrate. Like you need to come.
You need to come. So he rents a big space like a theater, and you demonstrate. So you have statisticians and scientists, like 3 or 4 people who would like check if there's no trick in the cards, like they will give you the card.
Kind of like Mythbusters, kind of.
Yeah, but for real life, Mythbusters are just like, this is another show. It's a show. It's like reality TV. People who think that reality TV is reality, they need to get like. They need to go to hospital or something. But anyway, so seriously, like reality TV is everything but reality. This is. But anyways, and for example, he told a guy about astrology. Who here believes a little bit in this and reads it? No.
Astrology, like horoscopes.
Like horoscopes, etc.
Like
Yeah.
When it says something good, then yes.
Yeah.
Reda, do you?
Yeah.
Same.
A little
like,
bit.
if you come and tell me I'm gonna have a great day,
And you will
a
find
lot
a
of luck
good
and
job
stuff.
opportunity,
I'll
etc.
take it. I'll take it.
So this guy, he gave So how many horoscopes are there? Like 12, 10, 12? 12, I'm
12,
assuming.
right?
Okay, so one for each month, maybe. Okay, so he gave like a horoscope, and he talked to those people for like 2 minutes, 2 minutes, 2 minutes, 2 minutes, and he lined up 12 people, and he gave them like a sealed envelope with like their horoscope, and he said, okay, read it and tell me if I hit it, hit the nail on the head. And they read it, and they're like, oh wow, and each one of you tell me if I was really, really very accurate. And they said, well, yeah, I mean, you've managed to find my personality. This is exactly the problems I'm going through. My work situation is not good. My love situation is good, but it could be better. And I need some money, but I am actually okay. I'm comfortable. I need to satisfy myself with this. Wow, this is exactly me. This is, okay, perfect. So 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10, 9 out of 10, perfect. And they say, okay, now take the envelope and switch it with the person on your left. And etc., etc. So they all do, and the last one switches it with the first one. Now read it again. And some of them started laughing because they realized that actually it's the same one. It's the exact same one. And they think it's personalized. It's the exact same one. He made 12 copies of a generic one. And now it's produced by computers, and people are like, oh my God, yeah, I think, let me read my horoscope. Yeah, no, it's not good. This is bullshit. Oh yeah, it's actually good. See, I need to stand up for my boss because he's an asshole. And no, dude, you're just gonna get fired. That's all. Like, really.
I think you as at the receiving end, you can be also a good and a bad subject for someone trying that on you. And when you come with an open mind to it, you will find something that relates to your life. It's similar with hypnosis.
Hey,
like when you put yourself in the process and you actually maybe pass out or whatever happened to you, or you see things because you want it to happen.
Yeah, that's true.
Or
But like,
it's like the placebo effect, kind
that's
of. So if you really want it to happen, it happens in a way. It's like life coaches. We talked about it.
I mean, it's also a bit like religion, right? You give the responsibility to a higher power. That's
but
yeah, a little bit. I think
if you
there's the small
it
difference.
helps people.
Religion, you kind of you surrender. Where they're here, you kind of like it brings you something. It's kind of similar actually.
I just
Mythical.
thought of it like because I mean there are people like you said, the magician in the cafe. If you go to a church, an ancient Catholic church, let's say in Germany or Italy or wherever, I mean they also play these tricks. It's very beautiful. It's a high building. Then the priest would come in a cloak, like you just
That's
described
true.
the
That's true.
Jellabab. So it's already the ambience, and then you want to believe it. And again, not talking about religion, but like that magic tricks. If you are open to it, then it's easier to get
sucked in. Yeah, absolutely,
and
I agree.
I also would welcome that because I also saw magicians. Hans Clark. I don't know. He's this.
Maybe.
I don't even know if he's Dutch, but it sounds Dutch.
So what does he do?
He's like really
mind
show
reading?
magician, like he's sawing women in half and
Okay.
stuff. I went to his show and was, of course, from the first minute like, yeah, you cannot show me anything. But after an hour, I was like, fuck, but some of these things, I don't know how he did. Like, really, like, I mean, he's this guy with the big Hollywood... With the big Hollywood smile and everything. I'm not sure if any of his assistants afterwards were in a hole again. Like, I don't know how he did it.
Well, but do you believe that deep inside of course, he didn't cut his assistants in half. So you want to believe him, but you know it's not true. You just can't find the trick. And like,
That's manipulation, basically.
But how about hypnosis?
I think it's the same thing. When you want to be manipulated a certain way, it's like you said, it's easier to be manipulated. But sometimes you do good to people by manipulating them.
You help them stop smoking, etc.
In medicine, like when people get their arms cut off and they feel a certain pain, and you put that mirror, and they see their other arm, and they just believe in their mind that it's their actual arm, and they release that pressure, and it all goes away. Technically, medically, like there's nothing crazy about it, but if you trick yourself to believe,
Yeah, I mean, to play with the mind is something else. Like if you really focus on something, like your anxiety, etc. So all these breathing exercises, etc. These work. Of course, we cannot touch them. We cannot really explain them, but like they works on your psychic. But like the placebo effects, this is something that is real. It's been used in science for many, many years. And when they compare the effectiveness of a medicine, they don't compare it with zero. They compare it with the placebo effect, because does it really have a difference? And which brings me to the point of, many times they say, okay, this trick is going to work. This guy can help you, but you have to believe in him. Well, if it works, it should work all the time. Like, okay, I mean, if I believe that if I throw myself from the window, I'm gonna smash. It doesn't matter if you believe it or not. The same thing is gonna happen. So because scientifically it works. Okay.
But it's kind of like the same thing. When you want to believe, you believe, but also when you don't want to believe, you don't believe.
Yeah, but if it works, it should work whether you believe or not. That's what I'm saying.
You might find some explanation to not believe. Anyways.
But what I'm saying is that the effectiveness should not be connected with whether you believe or not. Like if I cut my finger, it's gonna be off. Whether I believe I can cut the blade or not. If I can resist the pain or not, it's still, my finger is still gonna be cut off. If I take some kind of medicine of like if I have a headache and I take some ibuprofen, for example, it's gonna work whether you believe in medicine or not. It's gonna work. So because that's how it's been proven. That's why it's been on the market, because they compared it to the placebo effect. So even people who don't believe it, it works on them. So that's why it will work on you, you know?
Yeah, but for homeopathic
Yeah,
medicine,
that's
it also works for people who believe in it. I mean,
that's true. But then I think it's just the placebo effect that's working. Because if you look at the composition of those medicine, it's nothing. It's
but do you think
nothing.
that if someone gives you a painkiller and tells you this is not a real painkiller, it's homeopathic,
It could work.
won't it work then on you? Are you then like, no, my headache is still there?
I mean, repeat that. Say that again.
You
I was
do
so
the-
excited to jump on
you
your
do
question.
the reverse placebo effect. So
Okay.
you have a real painkiller, but this person giving it to you tells you that it's actually a homeopathic.
Homeopathic. This is
Homeopathic.
pathetic, for
That's
sure.
actually yeah, it's a good word. Now I want to say very difficult to pronounce. But if then they tell you this and you obviously don't believe in it, won't the painkiller will work then?
Yeah, I mean, I see your point, but you know, there is I don't know. Honestly, this kind of medicine are for me, they are just here. They are placebo effects in pills, and this James Randi, what he did is in the beginning of his sketch, of his presentation that he did in MIT or Harvard or something, like he's been taken very seriously, so he's not just a charlatan, and he took like homeopathic pills, and he took a whole box, and he said, okay, I will explain later, and he took a whole box and he just chucked them with a big glass of water. And he said, and at the end he says, at the beginning of my show, I took a lot of pills. And I want to tell you about another kind of scam that's been going on for a long time, which is the homeopathic thing. So he said, I took a whole box of sleeping pills and homeopathic sleeping pills. So I should be dead. But don't worry, folks. And he was like, if you see him, he's like funny looking. He's very funny and he's very old. He was like maybe 84 or 85. And he said, don't worry about this. I can do this every day. And he told a joke. And he said, one guy died of homeopathic pills overdose. Yeah, how did he die? Well, he forgot to take them. Because there is nothing in it. There is so nothing in it that even if you forget, this is like an overdose. And they explain to you like how they dilute it. And one day I had this discussion with my dad, and he told me he read this article about the power of the water, the memory of water, and that the water remembers the thing. And even if you dilute it, the water still remembers. No, the water doesn't remember. If the come on, guys, you gotta be So yeah, I think there is a lot of charlatans there, and
but on the other hand, like you can't define something by black or white. you can't demonstrate. There's a lot of people that religion saves on a daily basis,
Yeah.
and it's personal. Like it keeps their hopes up in certain situations and stuff like that. But you can't prove to them, oh, if God exists, strike me down. Oh,
Well,
I'm still alive, so it
that's
doesn't
true.
exist.
That's true.
Like it's something that's deeper for those people. It's like so if you can't really define it by black and white. Like so it's like in science they're discovering a lot of things with energy that's linked to energy, like frequencies that you can emit and that people receive and stuff like that. So we're discovering a lot of things. I think that there's a middle ground where all those things kind of will make sense at some point. But I don't think we can like say like absence of proof isn't proof of absence. You get what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah, that's what I meant in the beginning. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's supernatural.
Exactly.
It might be something that is scientifically explainable at
Yeah.
a certain point of time.
Yeah, we
There
just
might
can't
be
do it
some
now. Yeah.
frequency between us even now, like at the
Exactly.
moment. And in the end, if, for example, even like I agree with what you've said about this sugar pills,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
call them. But if in that point of time it might help a person, so why not? Go ahead, take it. And if
Absolutely.
it plays on your mind, it maybe activates something in there, and maybe your own body defensive mechanism actually to
Activates,
Yeah.
etc.
whatever.
Yeah.
Of course.
So, but I totally agree with what you've said.
Yeah,
Like, I
yeah.
don't believe in that, and that's also maybe why they won't work for me. Maybe I should try.
But like
Yeah.
you already had a cold or something,
Yeah.
right? Many times in your life. Don't you think that sometimes your mindset plays on how you heal or not? For
Yeah.
instance,
And
like if you're like, oh, I'm so sick, I'm so this, or if you have work, you're like, I'm just gonna take a shower, it's gonna get better and stuff. I
Yeah.
don't think it's the same effect. You're not taking any pills and stuff, but somehow you kind of can, I don't know, maybe just with your mindset kind of jumpstart your body in a certain way. So,
And we're so prone to immediately do something against it.
yeah.
Like take a Doliprane or take a paracetamol. And like when I was living in the Netherlands, they told me there's a word is called uitzieken. Comes from sick. It's like you have to go through that. Like you have to accept that in that moment, and your body, your own defensive strength will get you through it.
Yeah, definitely.
And I'm not sure, like it might help on people.
I mean, the placebo effect definitely helps. It's been proven to help. So if you believe in something, of course, it's going to help you.
Just because we were talking about hypnosis, and it's all also maybe in your subconscious and what is not proven by science. What I had a lot when I was younger were deja vus. And
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think I don't know if we have a logical scientific
I
explanation.
don't think we do.
And
Yeah.
it's really like something where they're like, I lived this moment before. Like it must be
That's
that.
true.
Like I know exactly what will happen next, or I knew exactly, like I had the feeling this is something that I was here already in the future.
But is
to
it
the
that
past.
precise that you know what's going to happen next? For me, it's
I
just
had
like,
that
oh,
sometimes.
I lived this scene before, but I don't know what's going to happen next. But I
I've
know.
never had that.
You never had that?
No.
Like deja vu, I think it's a combination of senses as well. You know, like the smell,
Yes.
like there's a olfactive memory as well. I think it plays and stuff like that. But yeah, some people have like, in your case, like really accurate deja vus. But
Yeah.
I guess I don't know. Maybe
You've had them before, right?
I had a few,
Yeah.
but I always look at them like you know, it's like that feeling when you fall in love. You kind of feel like it's the.
Let me put some music there.
Put
All
some
right.
romantic music. We went to Valentine's Day, from Halloween to Valentine's Day. When you fall in love,
We'll do a special
Yeah.
Valentine's Day, baby girl.
Extraterrestrial experience.
Extraterrestrial Valentine's Day.
yeah. So when you fall in love, you kind of have that feeling that you're the only one that understands how it feels to be in that position where, and nobody gets you or whatever. You know, you feel like it's a special
Like an
emotion to
alien.
Yeah,
yourself.
like an
it's-
alien would.
Yes.
I don't know. I think
But at the end of
deja
the day,
vus are
everyone
scary.
feels the same way, and I think deja vu it's that thing. Like you just take it out of its context, but we have a lot of things that we do repeatedly and stuff, and we only kind of observe what we want to observe.
Exactly.
You know, like,
I think that's
I don't
very
know.
true because the mind tries to. Here is the thing. So this James Randi and other people. There is also this Darren Brown. I will put all the references on the comments. They are very very cool, interesting people. The Darren Brown, he has a thing on Netflix called The Push. I really recommend watching it. It's a social experiment. It's an experiment, etc. And he tries. The end result is he tries to make somebody push somebody else over the edge of a building, just by manipulating him. So they are both good guys. It's not like an evil guy he's going to hire, etc. He's going to put a whole scenario around him and little by little give him a little nudge, a little nudge, a little nudge until he will or will not push somebody, and we will see at the end. Very, very cool experiment. This Darren Brown, he's English. Very, very cool. And he... Honestly, I don't know why. I think I watch a lot of creepy things, maybe. But I was always fascinated by how
new
people.
side of you now.
No, it's like
Am I surprised?
I try to find how people think. The mind of the brain is something
That
that's.
you cut in to check it, or
I really do. I'm like, are you okay? Are you sure? He's like, yeah, just cover for me. No, but but yeah, it's and this guy did the hypnosis thing. Honestly, that's the one thing that I really can't put my hand around it because it's strange. Even this Darren Brown, he said, and they asked him, he does a lot of hypnosis, and he said, does it work? And he said, well, not really. Do you believe in it? No, it doesn't really work. I mean, when people are hypnotized, they are not like sleeping or we can just make them do whatever. They are conscious. They are voluntarily doing things. So I thought in my mind that you are out of it and they can make you do whatever. But it's not the case. Like you are responding because willingly, because you want to. If he tells you get up, you want to get up. He doesn't make you get up, but he just encourages you.
Yeah.
And the way he explained it, it's like a flashlight. If I point it in one direction, you will focus mainly on this direction. It doesn't mean that you don't see what's out there besides where the flashlight is pointing, but you will mainly, like 99% of your focus would follow where the flashlight is pointing. So hypnosis, he just makes you focus on him and 99% on him. But you will be able, like if he says, just give me all your money, you will say...
But you don't think it's a state of mind? You know that small. There's a small period of time when you just woke up where people can make you do whatever, like give you a sandal and tell you speak on the phone, and you take it and you're like hello. You know, like that small. Maybe
I think a lot of them are actors, and it has been proved and verified. Some people reveal their tricks, and this is the thing with magician and people who have like supernatural pretending to have they can't reveal the tricks because that's their trade. That's how they make money. They will not tell you how they do it, otherwise they will not be able to make money out of it. So and they say, okay, let me select 5 people from the crowd, and they select 5 people, and if you're like me, you're like, okay, okay, come on up. And then they say, oh yeah, it didn't work with him, he was not very receptive. But in reality, they were like 5 actors, and you just took his spotlight, and you're like, okay, you come on up. And then, but you'd be surprised how many actors are hired for these shows. A lot of actors, a lot of them. So I wouldn't be surprised if they were all actors. In Meknes, there was a man.
Man, in the Midwest, you have a lot
like
of
be
words.
careful before coming to
Before
Morocco.
going to Meknes.
Like, please.
Like there is supposedly a woman who walks around, and she gives you like she talks to you on the street. She says, excuse me, can I have that? Okay, now you look at me, you only look at me, etc. And a friend of my mom, she said her husband was in the street, and then he comes inside the house, he rushes inside the house, and he goes into the safe. And he takes the money. Have you heard about these stories
Bro,
before?
but you know that this has nothing to do with superstition.
So what is it?
This is a powder that's used to take advantage of people. Like I know like thousands of people that went through it, and they actually blow a powder on you that kind of like
Hypnotize you in a way?
It takes out it's something hormonal that takes out basically your
cognitive faculties
libre
or whatever.
arbitre,
Libre arbitre,
Okay.
cognitive
Is
faculties.
it like plant-based or something
yeah, it's
chemical?
plant-based actually. It's a
Okay.
it's a hallucinogen kind of
Okay.
thing, and it's a big deal, like everywhere in the world. Like
Okay. Interesting.
me,
You
because
know.
it happened to my grandmother. They took all her, like she went to her house and
She
took
took off all her jewelry and
jewelry and
money,
stuff,
etc.
and
Yeah.
somebody stopped her.
Yeah, exactly. Same thing
Like,
happened with my
what
friend's
are you
mom.
doing?
Yeah.
And then he wants to talk to the guys and tell them, yeah, what are you doing? Oh, we're just waiting for the lady. And they
Yeah.
look at no knives, no nothing. Like
Yeah,
there's no.
this is pretty
But
creepy.
apparently it comes from a powder. So they talk to you and they blow it in your face.
Interesting. So what
Yeah.
were you saying, Lisa? It happened to you too? You give all your money?
Me?
No?
I don't have any money.
You're like, yeah, you can blow all you want, man. I'm out. I don't have anything.
Blow it at me, please.
I think Berit was interested in where you get that plant.
Yeah.
Where would
Can
one
you
get
grow
this
it,
powder,
like-
for
like I
example?
Like I have a terrace and I can grow plants.
Yeah, that's pretty creepy. But like going back to hypnosis, I think that's the one that is a little bit scary to me because, for example, Darren Brown, he was explaining how yes, it doesn't really work, it doesn't really exist, but he could not really explain how he could get a woman, for example, get into a bathtub full with ice and stay there for as long as she stayed while he was hypnotizing
Hypnotizing her.
hypnotizing her. And
give English
and
courses, by the way.
he tried it with another person who was totally fine. He didn't talk to him, and he could only stay there for like 2 minutes or 3 minutes, and this woman stayed there for 15 minutes. So you're right, there are some things that we cannot still explain, but it doesn't mean like they are magical or anything like that. Yeah. All right, let's go over our next segment, which is scary movies. Scary movies. So who here likes scary movies? Lisa, do you watch them sometimes?
Not really. And I mean, if you say scary, yes, I guess, but more like these cute scary. Like as a kid, I loved the Addams Family. Or Nightmare Before Christmas or something like that. Like really cool. Or the Witches. I think they made a new The Witches, which is actually really creepy for kids. I think it's too creepy for kids.
A little bit too creepy.
Something
for
like
kids,
that.
Too
Like
realistic.
I like. But real horror movies, I only watch the spoof versions. Like Zombiever and everything.
Like Scary Movie, etc. They made a lot
that's
of.
a spoof?
Yeah, they
okay.
did Scary Movie 1, 2, 3, etc. with a lot of great actors, and the first ones were actually pretty funny. But
I watched it when I was 13, I think. Like it was, it was great.
they are, honestly, I never was into that, but when I watched them with my friends, I was like, yeah, sure, I'll watch them, no problem. And I was like, oh, fuck again, that's some scary movies. How about you, Berit? Do you watch them a little bit?
I like science fiction.
Yeah.
I like movies that play with your mind.
Yes, me too.
But I'm not a fan of like bloody movies, like
No,
where
me
they
either.
cut off legs and arms and the head, and then you have to hang them somewhere. Like these were movies we watched. It was more like a dare, like when we were teenagers, and like you don't
had
want
to
to
watch
chicken
them.
out because like,
Exactly.
everyone was watching the
Yeah.
movie, and maybe there was a guy that I liked, so I went. But I didn't go there necessarily because of the movie.
Yeah. That's how about you, Reda? Do you watch scary movies?
I watched them with friends the same way, but personally, I'm not a big fan of scary movies of being the general vibe of it. That music, the tension of the music. all
And
that,
then the
it's
surprise
not-
effect, boom, the guy's hiding
Like,
behind the door. I
and
hate that.
usually,
I
like-
hate that. It makes me jump all the time.
The story isn't that interesting.
Yeah.
Like I liked the classic ones, because we grew up with them and stuff. But I've been to some. The last movie I think I saw in the cinema was Paranormal Activity,
Okay.
and half, like I was in Montreal, half the room went out in the middle of the movie, and I was
Really?
like,
Okay.
seriously, guys,
Was it that?
it's not that crazy, but yeah, The Exorcist.
This one is a classic. I think this one is a classic. Who here? I know you, Lisa. You didn't watch The Exorcist. It's actually considered one of the creepiest one, very very scary. Like it really established like a genre, but it's very cool. I know,
Maybe
Berit,
I will.
you watched it. Yeah, I think we should all watch it together. That would be
Yeah.
that would be creepy. That would be fun. But Berit, you watched it. What do you remember
just
from it?
like it was the movie where there was this girl that was possessed, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember, and we watched it at school with our teacher.
That's interesting. How
I can't even imagine.
yeah, it's like, all right, kids, today.
This is how kids grow up in Germany,
I
you know?
guess, like nothing scares you. All right, well, that's interesting. And you watched it in school? And
Yeah, because like it was in our like we actually in Germany have classes like on religion.
Okay.
And in our school, we were like, there were 3 types. So you were separate. There were like the Protestants, the Catholics, and
Really?
the one who like didn't join either of the other classes.
Okay.
So I, because my parents signed me up for the Catholic classes.
Okay,
So normally these are like the boring classes. We just read the Bible. But we had a great teacher, and we talked about like extreme tendency in religions. So he made us watch The Exorcist, and we analyzed it together and how religion can turn into something horrible.
Yeah, well, this is pretty
How
extreme
old
for
were
sure.
you when you did that?
I think maybe 16 or 17.
Oh, so you were like in the late classes.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Because it would be funny, like 8-year-olds.
Hey, all right. Good luck
And your
sleeping
parents,
tonight. All right, kids, go back to your parents now. Good luck. Yeah, The Exorcist was pretty creepy. You know, when her head turned, and that was even the special effects were like. And you know, I heard even the woman, the young girl who did that, she didn't end up like she was a little creepy herself. Like she had a series of bad luck, and so, and even the room, I guess it was in a hotel, and the room where they filmed that thing was supposedly haunted. Like some people went there and didn't know there was a movie shot there. There was that movie shot there, and they said they didn't feel good in the middle of the night. They said they wanted to change room, and they felt like some creepy things, etc. So there's a lot of things, and again, maybe some of them are true or not true, but this will never know.
I think
but
what makes it a beautiful, the nice, scary movie is not trying to make it visual, you know, like that's something that seems realistic, where it's just like you see someone really like freaking out, and he's genuine in his acting. That's what makes it nice.
Yeah, true.
Scary movie like. It was Jaws was the first one to do it, where they didn't show the shark; they just showed the music. That music kind of like made you freak out. So
they showed the shark.
Yeah,
You should
like
watch
2
it
scenes
without
or
the
so.
sound effects and without music. I think that would be quite
that would
funny.
be of course.
But I think even if you watch it right now, the visual effect would be like, okay, it would be too easy to. All right, come on. I mean, I can see there's somebody like pushing him behind you. I mean,
No,
but,
but you don't see him actually. It's the camera. You see the feet of the person.
Oh,
and
yeah,
it's
yeah,
just
yeah,
the camera
okay.
on the sound.
I see.
That's what
I see.
makes it.
I see. Yeah, interesting. I think it would be interesting. And how about some other movies that really stand up in your mind? Some scary movies. Your mask is like killing you, right?
No.
No.
I'm just receiving some
Some messages.
1 second. Blair Witch Project.
I watched this one too. It was pretty funny. It was pretty interesting. Did you watch it? Did you watch it, Blair Witch Project?
Yep.
It's a very interesting way to look at movies. They shot it like a documentary, and things happened to them, and they were like, so shaky cameras and like
GoPros
friends.
and stuff.
Yeah,
And there was this whole hype around it. Like everyone was saying, it's not a movie; it's actually a documentary. And I thought I was maybe 10 or 11 years old. I remember I had a friend over. And like we went into this big because he went back to his parents, and like he started having nightmares and stuff, and we had like problems with his parents.
Yeah, I mean it is very.
So that one kind of marked my youth.
It is interesting to shoot it in that way, and you know. When I heard it was like it was like fake. It was. I was a little bit disappointed. I'm like, so I mean, it was all arranged. Like they were not. It was very very interesting. And how about more recent ones like It and other things? No, anyone watched it?
No, horror. I've watched on Netflix Squid Game.
Squid Game. All right. So, what did you think about it?
Like it's quite bloody,
Okay.
like quite brutal,
Sure.
but in a way, when you watch it, you think then, okay, where's hell? Is it inside where they're playing games, or is it outside reality?
Sure.
Because people come there voluntarily.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, it makes you think about it.
That's true. I really like when you think about like when they play with your mind. They don't scare you with like just cutting heads, etc. Lisa, did you watch it? How could you have missed it? Right? It's
I
everywhere.
didn't watch it yet.
Okay.
But I wanted to go like back from the recent. I wanted to go to The Shining.
Yeah.
Or when I was in school, everyone was obsessed with The Ring or Saw.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So, I mean, there are
Saw
four
was
of them
pretty.
or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
And they didn't get more interesting with the time, but
Yeah.
it's still like something
They
you
were-
watch
they were-
together, and everyone talked about it in school. It
But
was
did you ever
creepy.
watch a scary movie alone? That's like drinking alone. It's not a good sign when you watch a scary movie alone.
Okay,
I didn't
drinking
think so.
happened to me, but confinement. is
Yeah,
part.
that's true. That's true. You never watched a scary movie alone, right?
No, I don't
No,
think so. No.
no. Yeah, it's quite the experience.
You did.
Yeah, I did. I was bored and I started the movie. I didn't know it was a scary movie. I don't even remember the name of the movie. And then they were drugged up and then stuck in like a dungeon, and they had to, two men were tied to each other, and then in another room they discovered that there were other people, etc. So, yeah, to make sacrifices, etc. So, some pretty creepy movie, but it didn't start off. Like all scary movie, they start like in the daylight, and they're
it's
like two
always-
lovers,
it's
and like,
always like that,
hi, everybody's good. I wonder
yeah.
what could happen to us, and then boom.
It's the party. It's like everyone's happy.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. And you know how like in when they do remakes, they say, "Oh, okay, let's like in Scary Movie, the remake." They point out like the stupid things in scenarios in like scary movies, like, oh, let's all separate. No, why would we? Why would we
You
separate?
don't do that.
Like, why would we separate? Okay, you go over there in the creepy attic, and you go in the basement. No, I'm not going in the basement, man. No, we all stay together, and in daylight we will all go see the police. That's it. Like, why would we separate? And like, it's raining, it's thunder everywhere,
There's
etc.
a cabin in the woods that looks super spooky.
So,
Let's go in
exactly.
there.
They're like, oh, we're gonna have such a great time. No, we're not. We all getting killed. But yeah, it's this is pretty cool. But honestly, scary movies are just not for me. I like like you said, science fiction that are a little bit like they make you think. See, my phone is acting weird.
Yeah, maybe this is a paranormal
I know,
prank
paranormal
that
activity.
your phone is playing on you.
Yeah, this is pretty much yeah.
I
All
think
right.
it's the spell that the guy put on you. back in the
No, I
days.
talked about him. He heard it. He didn't hear me when I talked to him face to face. Now he's gonna hear me.
Look for a pearl, maybe.
Exactly. Oh, I got one. But yeah, that would be really cool, huh? Yeah, and
Big
at the end I
pearl.
go like, "Hey guys, look what I found!" And you guys are like, "Great acting
Maybe.
skills!" Oh my god! I'm probably gonna go like this to work tomorrow. This is my new side.
Maybe one day you'll turn white.
Maybe,
You
and
know.
then I will. Well, then if I turn white, I won't have that much hair. I don't think so because I'm already thinning things out. But yeah, thank you so much for being here. We're gonna cut this short for tonight. It was great. Thank you for sharing your experiences. We will hopefully have other podcasts. I don't know if you guys like the experience, but it would be cool if we had more podcasts where
It's
this
fun,
time
yeah.
we'll let you
Yeah.
talk a little more, maybe. Why not?
Yeah, we will